You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 5. Chill! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman YPG, and the Premier Boy Podcast. Welcome to another new episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. And Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first episode of 2022, and I'm just happy that y'all all through here with me. And once again, thank y'all. And before we tell y'all what today's episode is about, I just want to thank everybody that been tuning in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast from day one. As of recently, we just hit 200K downloads. And I just want to thank y'all that been tuning in. And it means a lot. Thank you to all 77 countries that been tuning in with the Gym Like the Podcast. Over 20 platforms. Yeah, I'm just grateful and humble. And I just want to say thank y'all. They continue to support the show. Y'all don't know how much y'all support means to me. So once again, thank y'all for supporting me. It means a lot. So on today's episode, originally we were supposed to do a conversation about music podcast with Star Riding Rod, Magna, and Mr. Aaron Sands. But due to the timing, it just didn't work out. So the next episode of a conversation about music will be February 6th, every first Sunday. So for this episode, we just go reflect on what happened in 2021 personally for me. And what to come for 2022. So y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, I'll be right back. Happy New Year.
My name is Annika Hutchinson, and you're listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, and I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. On Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we interview many guests about their life journey, pretty much where they come from and where they at now. Also promoting their brands or whatever they're doing at the time they come on the show. We also have the host talk about personal stories about himself and everything that he's been through. And also we have fun conversation about anything music, anything old school, relationships, wrestling, and many more. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays at 12 a.m. We are also on every Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Spin-Off Series Thursdays, where we have all of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast spin-off series all in one day, where we have a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Riding Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays at 12 a.m. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pods, and many more. Or y'all can check it out on the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. And tune in every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in to this commercial break of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Cheer!
Hi, I'm Gia.
And I'm Layla, and we're from the podcast She Fucking Did That.
And you are listening to the great Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Just a little PSA. When I was talking about the show that I appeared on, I forgot to mention about Wrestling with Faith, hosted by Anthony. It was an episode with me alongside Angelica from A Little Bit of Everything With Me. And also, I set the wrong anniversary date at the end of the show. I don't know how I got my anniversary date wrong. My 30th anniversary is January 20th. I repeat, January 20th is my 3rd year anniversary. Okay, now enjoy the show. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. At this time, y'all already know we are in 2022. Well, even though this recording was probably 2 days before 2022, but it doesn't matter that we are already in 2022 while y'all listen to this episode. And first thing first, I just want to thank God that I get to see another year. You know, we had a really hard year in 2021, and also 2022. 2020 as well. And it pretty much 2021 was pretty much part 2 of 2020, basically. But it just wasn't as bad. But I did thank God to see another day. Thank God for still being healthy. Thank God for my family still being here, healthy, and my friends too. And let's just pray that 2022 is an amazing year for all of us. I will tell you the thing for 2022 at the end of this segment. But originally, this episode was supposed to be the original Christmas episode. Before I scrapped the whole idea completely and changed it to the All-Star Christmas episode, which, by the way, shout out to Christy Christ for Fistful Podcast, which, by the way, she will be back later this season again. So, yeah. Angelica from A Little Bit of Everything With Me. Check out the Shout Karaoke episode. I'm on that. The Christmas Shout Karaoke episode with her. And shout out to Cynthia from our collaboration station and Listen and Learn podcast, y'all. All y'all killing it right now. Shout out to all y'all amazing women. Just keep doing your thing. And then originally, this episode was supposed to be episode 6 of Mr. Gentleman Like the Pocket Presents, a conversation about music podcast with the Star Rider Ride, Mr. Aaron Sand and Magna on the show. We both discuss his R&B whitewash. Basically, white artists take it over R&B. But due to our time and our scheduling, we had to push that episode back. So the new date from A Conversation About Music Podcast, episode 6, and every first Sunday after that will be the first Sunday in February. So look out for February for the new next episode of A Conversation About Music Podcast. So instead, I decided to take this one personal episode and talk about 2021 and what can we expect about 2022. Just so you know, it will be a lot of recapping this episode. It will be me venting somewhat in this episode. And just keeping it real, y'all. Just keeping it real. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna try my best not to hold back. But but y'all already know when I do a program, I don't really hold back anyway. Something I might forget what to say, but I'm gonna try my best not to hold back. So I'm trying to be as real and transparent the best way that I can. And some topics I might have to talk about in a later episode, but when we get to that, yeah. So honestly, how do I feel about 2021? If you want me to be honest with me, I feel like I didn't do much at all. I feel like things was due lingering for 2020, leading into 2021, that kind of affected me in a major way. And honestly, if I had confidence in one thing, the biggest thing this year, honestly, was Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast got a lot more exposure this season, which when we get to that part of the episode, we'll explain what it is. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with, y'all probably wondering what do y'all mean by at the beginning of 2021, I do have some 2020 effects. So what I was dealing with in 2020, well, if y'all remember, I've spoken with this many times, back in March of 2020, I was sick, I was dealing with a sore throat. I thought it was just a regular cold and stuff like that. And then as time progresses, the pandemic that started, it was making me a little nervous to the point that I thought I had COVID. Good thing that it turns out I didn't. I just had a panic attack. I thought back in March I had a panic attack. It was going on for almost 8 hours, from 12 a.m. to like 6 a.m. If I didn't believe that to 8 hours. No, well, close. 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. To the point that I had to end up going to the hospital, and they had to check up on me. And everybody, when I went to the hospital, they said that I was fine, no fever, nothing. I shouldn't be here because it was like the beginning of the pandemic. The beginning of the pandemic was bad, and then they gave me stuff to take care of it. So, later that year, I was diagnosed with acid reflux, which was connected to the panic attack that happened in March. And I had to change my eating habit, I had to change everything. I had to lose weight, I had to change my eating habit and everything. So as time went on, I started getting better, in 2020. I started getting better until the end of the year, in December of 2020, where I had a slight panic attack again. And that when things started getting bad again, what also was the lead into 2021, which I had to cancel birthday plans with my homegirl. Her birthday was around December 28th. I had to cancel plans because of what happened that time, It was a lot. So, at the beginning of 2021, I was pretty much dealing with the same thing that I was dealing with in 2020, basically. So my year started off bad, and I was just like, dang, going to the doctor in and out just to figure out what's going on with me and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a lot, man. It was a lot, and yeah. Then January 20th of 2021. Mr. Gentleman at the podcast, we celebrate our 2-year anniversary on that day, and and it was amazing. It was happy to do 2 years in the podcast game. Also around that time was the premiere of season 4, where I had Cynthia and Naya on the show. It was a 2-day premiere for season 4. Also that week, I had an exclusive interview with my bro, Mr. Aaron Sand, where he also made enough for a King Talk, which I became an executive producer of that show. And that week was a really busy week in January, and but yeah. So also around that time, I also announced the rebranch of my music spin-off series, where I started back in 2019, in June 2019. And I announced the rebranch of, back then the show was called New Music / Unsigned Hype Fridays, where I play brand new mainstream music. Well, I know how when music released on Friday, I used to play mainstream music on the show, and then I would play unsigned artist songs, 2 unsigned artist songs, and stuff like that, and supposed to have interview with artists on the show and stuff like that. But during that time, I was still brand new, so people were not listening. I was still brand new, people weren't listening. No guests didn't want to come on my show at the time because I was brand new. And at the time, they didn't trust me with the vision, at the time. So people gave me a lot of bad reviews saying that I was playing too much music and with no discussion about music. So at that time, I scrapped the idea entirely. And over the time between June 2018 until March 2020, I was trying to figure out how to bring that show back. And 2021, my bad. How to bring that show back. And It was, and I've tried to bring it back many times. I was going to bring it back in 2020. It was supposed to come back in 2020 actually. The new title at that time was Everything About Music. It was called Everything About Music, and that was the new title at the time. But then I scrapped the idea because I still was nervous about it. But even at that time now in 2020, I had music artists on the show. I had Bango on the show. I had Mook Dollars on the show, and I had the bro Mally Mal on the show. But I still wasn't comfortable with doing a music show still. On top of that, I was dealing with things with Spotify. They took my show off Spotify the first time due to the music played my show at the time. But around that time we managed to fix that problem. So 2021, March 2021, I started thinking to myself that, at the time I already launched the Old School Show with myself and the Star Writer Ride, doing amazing numbers and stuff like that. So I started thinking to myself, maybe it's time to relaunch a Conversation About Music podcast. That was the name of the new brand of show. I mean, the original new title at first was the Unsigned Hype Artist Show. That was the original idea show name. But then I changed it to a Conversation About Music podcast because it wasn't just going to be about interviewing artists. It was also going to be about me talking about music and stuff like that. And then later we added the roundtable discussion episode where we had a roundtable to talk about whatever topic about music related that we're going to do on the episode. And then I decided to just launch that episode in June of 2021. And I was happy to start doing music. I love music. Everybody that know me know that I love music. I used to be a music artist with me and my bros. We had a group back in the day called the Blaze Up Click. We had songs that were played on mainstream radio and stuff like that. I was a songwriter. I wrote for many songs that never been published, but I should have. I should have published all these songs that I've written. Because you just never know where it could go today. That's one thing that I need to do in 2022, which I'm gonna get to a little later. One of my main goals that I need to do in 2022, but I will get to a little later. But that was a big part. That's why I brought back a Conversation About Music podcast episode. But I'm gonna change the topic a little bit. So recently, a certain podcaster tweeted something on Twitter, saying something about, this one podcast has got the same idea I have, same concert, same everything. Podcasts need to be more original. Blah 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 blah. And the thing about it, I knew he throwing shots at me, saying that I took his idea, and that was kind of crazy because I never seen nobody's idea. That's crazy to me. Well, for one, first thing first, I'm pretty sure you and me not the only one who started that same concept, as in having a show about music where we interview artists and we play our music show. You think about it, mainstream radio did that, So for him to say that I took his idea was probably the dumbest thing this person could say. I'm not even gonna say his name or his pocket show, because it's very irrelevant at this point. I just want to mention that comment is very stupid, Like, that makes no sense. Everybody has the same idea, and people could use it in different ways. Just because somebody had the same idea as you doesn't mean they took your idea. I'm pretty sure I came out before you came out. Let that be clear, man. So I just want to bring that up because people that say stupid stuff doesn't get attention, not knowing the facts about it. And I'm pretty sure you probably saw a flyer about me, without even listening to my show, period. So he's just assuming that I took the idea, knowing that I probably did this thing before you. I'm not gonna go around saying that you took my idea. So I think I heard your show, and I just thought, okay, we got the same idea. Okay, cool, whatever, cool. I was thinking about, okay, cool, we got the same idea, cool. Maybe we could collaborate on it in the future. That's how I'm thinking that. But of course, not everybody think like you, but it is what it is. But yeah, but when I saw that tweet, I was like, wow, like people would do anything for attention. But that's crazy. But so back to the main point though. I I was planning to rebrand the music podcast show and conversation about music in June of 2021, which it did happen. And so far, it did decent numbers. It did decent numbers, but it wasn't as successful as the old school show. But it did decent numbers though. Also, that happened in 2021. That I launched the Gentleman Like the Podcast website. It was a thing where Anchor and WordPress, they did a collaboration where we could make websites for our shows, and I took the opportunity and did it. The thing about it, I took it a step further and just created an official website for it. And since the website, that helped my show a lot more. It really helped the show a lot more, and I'm glad that I took the opportunity. Even though right now the website is down, I'm planning to relaunch it in 2022. Also with a second website too. So look out for that, y'all. Look out for that. So also, sadly, in April, I was pretty much forced to rebrand my whole show. As I mentioned, back in 2020, Spotify took my show down. And even though I spoke to Spotify and we came to an agreement to work it out, I did, So then some reps from Universal Music Group, apparently they tried to send mad copyright infringement, to me about the music I play in my show. Apparently that I play a lot of their artists on my show. And they made a big thing behind that. So I hit them up, I talked to them, I'm like, I apologize, I take the news down. Not a big deal. I took a lot of the news down. That's why if y'all hear my show now from 2019, I started with the Gym at the podcast, and I need to play music on the show. The reason why I play music on the show, not to steal people's music, because they're not my thing. Like I mentioned, I love music, and I love music, and I wanted to show the appreciation of the mainstream artists that, I'm a fan of them. That's basically what it was. And people love that part about my show because I felt like my show was different. I felt like it gave a radio vibe to it, and that's the point where I started with the Gym Like the Podcast. I wanted to get that vibe, which I'm gonna talk more about this exact thing on the 3rd year anniversary episode, January 20th. So save that date, January 20th. 3rd year anniversary of the Gym Like the Podcast, 3 years, it's January 20th. So I would go dive back to this topic. But back to the point of this, so University Music Group, they sent me about copyright infringement, talk about take the music down, which I did. I took all the music down. So I rebranded my whole show. I took every song down. Took every song, I probably except for one, for like a few episodes, probably like 3 episodes, do got music because it was a first theme episode, so I just kept it. But even with all that, I took every artist for Universal down. So even with all that, they took the show down off Spotify. So by that happening, that hurt my show a lot more. That was one of the downfall of the Gym Like the Podcast when they took it off Spotify, because a lot of my listeners, they listen from Spotify, and by taking it off Spotify, it hurt my show a lot more because now people gotta find a new avenue to where to really listen to the show. Especially with Spotify was my biggest number, so I had to get to new avenue. I had to put your Apple Podcast more. I had to pick on my home place Anchor more. I had to push on Google more. I didn't even push on GoodPod, which we're going to talk about a little later in the episode. The new platform to help replace my Spotify listeners. But so that was a big hurt for the podcast show, is when we lost Spotify. And that was a big thing, man. That was a really, really big thing. And that really hurt my show. I'm not going to hold you. So then my birthday came, my 34th birthday came in. As y'all know, I barely go out anymore like I used to. Y'all already know, before the pandemic, I used to go out a lot. Not only regularly just to hang out, also when I go to work, and also when I was promoting parties. When I was promoting parties, go every weekend, every Friday and Saturday to promote parties. The Friday Ice Catcher, Friday Catcher and Best Day Party Taj. I used to go out and promote a lot. And during the pandemic, I barely went out. I went out very few times. 2020, 2021, I barely went out as well. But for this birthday, I ran out to celebrate my birthday for the first time in 2 years. The first time in 2018, I didn't celebrate my birthday because something happened and it was a really bad night. It caused me to go into a deep depression. And yeah, I just didn't want to be bothered. And 2020, clearly, I didn't celebrate my birthday because we was in the whole pandemic. So 2021, I celebrated my birthday. I did bowling and, and I celebrated with friends. And it was good to see friends and stuff like that. Of course, I did invite a lot of people because how I did my birthday this year was I invited everybody who been there during the pandemic, who been there for me when I was doing with, the panic attack and stuff like that, And there was a lot of people who was my close friend and they check up on me. And that, I ain't gonna hold you, that hurt, So then when people saw me having a birthday celebration, a lot of people was upset. Oh, Kim, how come you didn't invite me this? How come you didn't invite me that? And stuff like that. And I kept it 100. I said to them, like, yo, you didn't check up on me during the pandemic. Y'all wanted to come out when I was doing something, but y'all don't want to hit me up on a regular. And that became a big thing. People just, like, the year 2021, a lot of people, especially in my circle, just started moving funny. And what I did, and what I felt like was the best decision I did, I excluded myself from that part, because I don't want to be around people who don't appreciate anything that I do, who would smile in my face but just talk around my back, There was many people in that circle that does that. It just moved funny, and that's not my style, yo. So I didn't invite them, and a lot of people was upset behind that. A lot of people was upset behind that. I know some people who I did invite, I didn't meant to be like that, but other people got there because y'all didn't deserve to be around me when y'all didn't pretty much do nothing for me during one of the hard time in everybody's life. I lost people during the pandemic, and people did not check up on me behind that. I was dealing with a lot of stuff in the pandemic. Dealing with anxiety, dealing with, everything. Like 2020 was hard for me health-wise, yo. And a lot of people did not check up on me. And behind that, that's why a lot of people didn't get an invite, And plus, we used to do the pandemic. I'm not going to invite like 20 people to a birthday event doing that, and they're going to get turned away eventually. We went through in May. Everything was not fully open. Everything was through by limits. So that was another reason too. And I did my birthday. I voiced how I felt about my birthday, and Mr. Jim, like the podcast. And that became one of the biggest episodes I ever did. One of the biggest episodes I ever did. And I was happy that everybody just understood how I felt. And to this day, that episode was the biggest episode. I had 2 episodes that was big in 2020, which probably the biggest I ever done this whole show. And this episode, and then the Old School Show episode 6, which we did Nickelodeon episode. Of course, Star Rider Ride, the co-host of the episode, and we got Magna Marsha that came on the show. We talked about Nickelodeon. It was probably the longest episode ever, 3 hours long. I never did episode 3 hours long, but y'all know the episode is so good. The conversation is about the conversation, and I think after that was a game changer. It kind of made me rebrand my show even more. New flyer, safe place for conversation. It's just like, I'm not really about numbers and stacks, but when you see your show growing in a way that you could not imagine, and people saying that I listen to the show and they love the conversation. They love hearing stories about me and hearing stories about other people. And when you hear stuff like that, y'all just never know how it will help a person, y'all. Especially when somebody saying that your show helped me through hard times. When I hear stuff like that, it just helped me, giving me a reason why I want to keep doing the show, and a reason why that I want to help others. Whereas, even when people told me like, listen to your show, we're speaking about, your speech problems and being bullied as a kid, it made me want to start my podcast because of you. And a lot of that happened in 2021. A lot of people started their show because of me. And because of that, I'm speechless. I just want to thank you that if I ever became some kind of inspiration to you or someone in your life, I just want to thank y'all for that, man. That means a lot. Y'all don't understand when y'all hearing stuff like that, especially for me. It means a lot because it means that I guess I'm doing somewhat of a good job trying to inspire everybody. Also, with the Gentleman Facts quote today, that's another thing that a lot of people said they was inspired by me creating. Yeah, and I'm just gonna continue to do all I can to help inspire everybody. I'm gonna try my best to help inspire everybody. So later, we had a big milestone in June where with the Gentleman Like the Pocket just hit 100K, and alone that was big. 100K people listening to your show, that is a big deal. Like I said, like I mentioned, I don't follow stats and numbers. I don't do my show because of that. I do my show because I want people to have some kind of message when they listen to my show. It's always about message, except when I do fun episodes. But majority of my show always been about message. Y'all knowing me while I open up my stories, and y'all knowing more about my guests when I open about their story, because y'all never know. Whoever tells a story, maybe y'all could relate to that person's story. And that's the purpose of the show. Always been the purpose of my show. And when I changed the thing to a safe place for conversation where you could come on my show and you could talk about anything and everything, and you could talk about it and don't be judged. That's where I want it for the show. So that's that. So y'all already know Conversation About News rebranded in June. Y'all already know. Also, in New York City, in a pandemic, they closed down clubs and stuff. So in June, they opened back up the clubs. So I was a promoter at Taj again. So the thing was, I went to Taj, and I'm gonna keep it 100, y'all. I only went to Taj since it's been open. Only been to Taj twice since it's reopened. And even though I still a promoter, I still promote on my IG. And you making public appearances, I only been to Taj twice. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Cause during the, like I said, back in March, not only that I had the panic attack, also my life changed tremendously when I gave my life to God in March. And I took that very serious. And I started reading the Bible more, I started praying more. And when they have church on Zoom, I was attending literally every Sunday, Friday, and Monday, stuff like that. And I took my change heavily, I took it heavily. And of course, I always believe God, love God, and stuff like that. So when I went back to the club scene, in June of 2021, I didn't feel comfortable being there. Not only that we were doing a pandemic, but I didn't just feel comfortable. I felt like the atmosphere didn't feel the same for me anymore, I didn't feel like I didn't belong here anymore. And so that probably was like one of the biggest reasons I haven't came back. And of course now, because vaccine mandate vaccines, but we're not gonna get to that. But yeah, so I just felt like, as a promoter, I wasn't the same. What is about that party? Like, I started drinking heavily. I mean, only drink wine, but other than that, nothing else. But yeah, I just didn't feel the same, and I just felt like I didn't belong in that scene no more. And I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't be there how I used to be every week for my party. I just couldn't do it no more. I mean, of course, I do promote on my IG. So if y'all do want to come, Taj, I will handle the business situation, but I still gotta make money some kind of way. My partner, she'll be there, handling everything. She'll be there handling the business side. He do make appearances, but yeah. So that's what's going on with my promotion situation. In case everybody was wondering, like, yo, we're kidnapped. My kid hadn't been in the clubs. That's pretty much the reason why I haven't been. And yeah, and Creative, we just hit 10th anniversary for at the night like promoting. And yeah, I'm probably gonna talk about the night life story again in a later episode of the season to celebrate the anniversary. So July season 2 of Premier Boy Podcast drop. And if y'all remember the season finale of season 1 when star writer Rod left the show. And he left the show and yeah. And so we pushed the show back because our schedule was terrible. We couldn't meet up to do a show. Also at the time, Aaron Sampson started King Talk, so his schedule was crazy. Molly Mel, we never could get it together. It made it harder because Roddy was not on the show at the time. We had to figure out a way to make it work. It took a while to bring it out. So we finally broke it out. And first year, so it was slow, but we started growing. Our numbers were doing a lot better, and stuff like that. Yeah, but it kind of, let's just say Premier Boys this season is up and down. So, yeah, but we will get more about Premier Boys a little later. But, in August, the Spotify finished to my podcast show down. That in the Premier Boys. Yeah, but then also in August, I discovered a platform called Good Pod. And the funny thing about Good Pod was I always had them as a friend on Twitter for a while. They hit me up saying, "Oh, join Good Pod, Good Pod, yo, podcast, join Good Pod." Oh, you say no? Up to one day when they took that Spotify, I was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me just try to Good Pod a test." I needed a new platform to grow my audience anyway. So when I joined Good Pod and I found out what it's about, and I'm like, yo, I really enjoyed this app. You get to see what everybody's listening to. You get to know other people. You can rate podcast shows, and also they got charts. And I enjoyed Good Pod. I got verified within a month on Good Pod, which a lot of podcasts got mad behind that. Don't know why. I guess because an unknown dude, which I'm unknown to worldwide. I'm not unknown to, I guess local. I'm not unknown local, but I'm unknown worldwide. But it is what it is. But a lot of those podcasters who work hard on Good Pod, who've been in for a long time, well, I said that I got verified so quick. I was like, okay. I mean, they clearly see me as somebody who been working hard on my show for a while. People forgot, I've been doing podcasts for 3 years. So, maybe, and so that do kind of short time, but during those 3 years, I grew a lot, But yeah, so people got upset about me growing fast on Good Pod, but it is what it is. I just wasn't, I didn't do all this stuff for popularity. I never do it. I do it because I really want people to check out the show. I'm a promoter. Of course, I gotta push hard to get my brand. I'm an entrepreneur. I gotta push hard to get my brand out there, and that's what I've always been doing. And that's why I did with Good Pod too. And we will get more things about Good Pod, but we'll get to that a little later. Then my life took a turn. Everything started falling apart. This far apart to the point that I didn't even try to get myself back up, pick myself back up. The things just started going bad. I started gaining weight again. the acid reflux got worse again. Things financially got bad. It was a lot, and this point in my life is still a work in progress. So I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but it's still a work in progress right now, and I know things will get better. So the best thing I gotta do is stay positive. But back to the good pot situation. The Premier Boys, we started growing our own good pods heavy. Both Mr. Gentleman and Premier Boys. Mr. Gentleman had not made number one yet on good pods. The highest we've been was number 2 on Society and Culture. But the Premier Boys, we've been number 1 for a good couple of weeks at one point. October, we were number 1 for entertainment news for a couple of weeks. And that show was just growing, and it was a good feeling to have a number 1 spot by my brothers, because we all work hard at the show. Doing this show, it's fun. It's fun doing the Premier podcast, because it's like about us 4 brothers just discussing stuff about the culture in our opinion, and our mindset, And the thing about a lot of our conversations, we got us in trouble a lot. We actually got in trouble where we discussed a topic about this one indie artist suing Drake and Chris Brown over their song, and we spoke about it. And when we spoke about it on the Premier podcast, then we did a YouTube video reacting to the song. And I'm not gonna hold you, it was funny at the time, but we said, I know one of my brothers said some disrespectful things, and it led to the artist to reach out to us and to start want to start some kind of weird beef. And me and the brother, we came together and we spoke about it. Of course, we ranted about it on. He said on his show. We ranted about it on the Premier podcast, but then we realized that we was wrong for that. We was wrong for that. We not known for disrespecting women. That not our thing. I know that's not my thing, definitely. But we was wrong for that, for disrespecting this person, woman, which we didn't know that was this woman at the time. But it was wrong. It wasn't a good taste in our mouth, and we wanted to publicly apologize to Dude, and we did. We did apologize to Dude, but Dude wanted to keep the beef going, and and honestly, it wasn't worth it. We had our controversy shared at one point, and then it was a controversy. We moved on from it. Dude, hopefully Dude moved on from it too, but we had not focused on that controversial in a while, and and that was bad taste in us. That was really bad taste in us, and so for that we apologize for that. And that was really bad on us. I'm not gonna hold you. That was really bad on us. And then of course we had the season 5 premiere of the Gym Like the podcast, where so far we had the first 5 episodes so far. First season premiere episode we had Penelope Rose, which we had some audio problem on her part, but I managed to fix most of it. It was this one part that I couldn't fix, but overall the episode was good overall. If it wasn't for the error of that audio problem, that probably would have been one of my favorite episodes this season. But then we had the Survivor Series prediction episode, Darren Sands, of course, on the show. Then we got Joker Conversation with Kendra Crump, which was a really funny interview. She is on the grind, man. She killing it. Keep doing your thing. Feel better. I know she's going through a lot right now. Feel better. Then we got Ms. Annigan Hackinson for Change Be Bold, which this was my favorite interview this season so far. I felt like the conversation for this was just flowing, and she talked about her business and her brand, and it was really fun. A really fun interview. Really feel the conversation, and keep doing your thing. And then also we got the All-Star Christmas episode with Christy Christ, Angelica, and Cynthia. It was fun. That was a fun Christmas episode. That was a really fun get together episode. And and just know that 2022 we got some bigger and better guests, more goal setting and stuff like that. I'm a brief on what's the goal for the show this season, but we're gonna save a lot more of that on the 30th anniversary episode. But yeah, also I've had me a couple of podcast appearances in 2021. I went on Where the Rabbit Go, Marco show. It was his 1 year anniversary episode that had me alongside Angelica and Anthony and Jessica from Beautiful Feet, and that was a cool episode. Of course, King Talk with Aaron Sands. I was on his show. Even though I'm executive producer of the show, me making an appearance, I made an appearance twice on that show. One time in June and another time in November. Also made on my homegirl Felicia White, aka Miss Positive's soul podcast show called Good Vibes Only, also in June. I also made an appearance on Shower Karaoke. I believe I've been on Shower Karaoke 3 times this year, in 2021. One time I believe in August, another time in October where I was the guest host, and then also in December on the Christmas episode. So yeah, I've been on Shower Karaoke, I believe 3 times this season. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 3 times. I think it was 3 times this season, this year. But I also was on CQP Moments with Coupon Creepin, also this year in August. And I also went on a little bit of Everything With Me back in July. And the thing about this episode was the episode never came out. So I don't know when Angelica putting out this episode, but the interview with me on a little bit of Everything With Me has never been released yet. So I'm just waiting for that episode to be released. It was a good episode. Hopefully when it is released, hope y'all check that episode out. But yeah, man, that was my 2021 journey and everything that happened in 2021. So we're on to 2022 now, and what can we expect for 2022? What I'll name the chapter of my life for 2022. And this chapter I'm naming for 2022 is The Rebuild. And I'm naming The Rebuild because, like I said, 2021, I feel like I haven't, honestly, I feel like I haven't done much in 2021. And me being completely honest, for half of 2021, I've been through depression, yo. I've been dealing with depression, like basically all year. There've been many things that I've done that I was not proud about, you know. I feel like I hurt some people I care about this year. I feel like the goals that I wanted to do this year, I did not set. And then I had many setbacks this year that's really bothered me, you know. Some is financing, some of the thing personally, you know. And I'm praying that, 2022, I can make a lot of that up, you know. I could do more things that I was supposed to do last year and do it for this year. I mean, of course, you can change your mindset now, but I just saying that I just hope everything that I want to accomplish in 2022, I want to accomplish, like have my LLC, you know. That's one of the big things I want to do this year. Learn how to drive. One thing about me, I have a fear of driving, and 2 things: I have a fear of driving and fear of cooking. And my reason for those are like, for driving, it's an anxiety thing where if you want to do those 2 things and you end up doing something wrong, like for driving, you're scared of getting into an accident or you get badly hurt or even dying from it. Stuff like that scares me. For cooking, you're making a steak, turn the gas on, and you just stuff like that, Stuff like that scares me. And that's probably one of the reasons why I never really done it, So one thing that I want to do in 2022, I'm going to conquer my fears. A lot of fear. I've been, usually, everybody know me, I'm not really a person that fear anything, but hey, during the pandemic, I feared a lot of things, and that's not normal for me. A lot of it is more of dying. you know. But sometimes you just can't let that hold you back for living your life. And that's one thing that I do not want to do in 2022. I do not want to be afraid and be fear and let my reason of being fear hold me back of doing amazing things, you know. Because I feel like I let a lot of things pass me by, and I don't want that to happen no more. So one big thing that I want to do in 2022 is conquer all my fears. All my fears I want to do. I want to conquer it. And that's one of the biggest things I want to do. Merch for the show. Merch for Mr. Jim, like the podcast. More, of course, more interviews, of course. We're gonna mention all that, more details. I'm not gonna get too much details on that stuff. We're gonna mention that when I get to the 30th anniversary. Like anything podcast related goes. Start making money again. You know, I've been financially bad. I think it's time to just work on that again, y'all. Read more entrepreneur books. And it's time to educate myself again and start knowing more about business related things. Get back to doing Forex, HFX and stuff like that. It's time to get back into it. It's time to be the kin that I deserve to be, you know. Take more risks. And like I mentioned earlier, that's one of the big things I want to do in 2022 is take more risks, conquer all my fears, you know, conquer all my fears. And that's something I really want to do. And I'm praying that I could really do that, you know. Get closer to God. Like I mentioned, like I said, I got saved back in March of 2020. Even though God was doing my life in 2021, I felt like I kind of stopped doing the thing that I was doing when I got saved. So one thing I want to do in 2022 is get closer to God again. Start reading the Bible more again. Start praying a lot more than I did, and just do a lot more stuff like that. And believe it, and trust on Him and believe in His word. And that's one thing I have to do as well. And trust others. I gotta trust others. I don't trust a lot of people, so that's one thing that I gotta work on. I gotta realize that everybody not coming into your life to hurt you. You know, I gotta learn to trust everybody. That goes for friends, go for family, go for significant others, and many more. Speaking of significant others, that also something that I want for this year. But it gotta be somebody who we definitely connect with, and we definitely gotta understand them. We definitely gotta understand each other. And like I said, we gotta talk more about that on the podcast episode and stuff like that. I also want to inspire others, inspire more people. Like I mentioned, a lot of people said that I inspire them in many ways, whether it's from the podcast shows, whether from my Instagram fact quote of the day, or rather just from my posts in general. Like I mentioned a long time ago, you just never know who you're helping. I remember when I was at Taj a couple years ago, and I'm just chilling, promoting, and this random girl came to me. She asked me, was I Ken? And I was like, yes. And she told me that I got you on IG, and I just want to say thank you for posting a lot of inspirational quotes, because all the quotes that I've been posting, it helped me during all the hard times. And like I said, by hearing that message always sticks by me. I wish I could remember the girl's name, but if whoever she is, she listens to the show, shout out to you. Thank you for telling me that. That message right there, that message always stick with me, because it always remind me of why I'm doing the show in the first place. For people like that, that's saying that I helped them along the way, and I didn't know I was helping anybody doing this show. And that's the reason why I push so hard on everything. I push so hard on promoting the show. I push so hard pushing on Good Pod. I am trying to go my audience there too. And people are just not listening. And it's not because they're not listening because my show is bad. I'm not saying my show is the best show in the world. But as long that you get a message out of it, forget all your problems and everything bad. As long as you get a message from it, that means a lot more than anything to me, you know. And that's what I want. I want to send out more messages. I want to inspire others. If you want to square a podcast and you're afraid to do it, just go out there and do it. You just never know where this could take you. You just never know how far your voice will go. Because I know a lot of you, I know if you have a story to tell, I know somebody is listening. Whether it's one person, 5 people, 10, hundreds, thousands. You just never know who is listening until you go out there and just do it yourself. And also, there's a lot of things personally. I just want to win personally in 2022. I want my family and friends to continue to be healthy. So I want to take care of myself more and get back to the way I was before the pandemic. I want to be more healthy, of course. I want to have more of a positive mindset. I want to take away the toxic mindset that I've been having for a very long time out. Because I feel like if I toxic, I can't inspire y'all. I can't inspire y'all if I'm have a toxic mindset. And I want to change that so I can get nothing but positivity, so I could really help y'all in a way that y'all deserve to be helped, instead of me trying to help y'all and I can't do it because I'm not there 100%. And also go back to therapy. During the pandemic, therapy helped me. I had to step back due to financial reasons, but 2022 I definitely will get back to that. Shout out to my therapist for helping me out. Because all I want to say is, y'all need something. Therapy has really helped y'all, and it helped me a lot. It took me into places that helped me with this show a lot more. That gave maybe a little bit more comfortable of expressing how I feel on everything in my life. So the show helped. Therapy helped. So do it. And like I said, anything you want to do in 2022, just do it. Do not hold back. Do not let nothing stop you, y'all. Like, our time is now. Before they try to censor us, before they try to take over what we all believe in, go out there and do it. Whatever you got planned for 2022 and beyond, just go out there and do it and just take the world by storm. Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't let nobody hold you back, y'all. And that's it for this episode. And I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman. Now, I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spinoff Series Thursdays. And Spinoff Series Thursday is the new home for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Spinoff Series. That brought to you shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast, The Old School Show, and Date Night Talk Podcast. And A Conversation About Music Podcast is a music spin-off series where we talk about anything music, from the current music scene and the old school music scene, where we interview many guests that's in the music industry and artists about their music journey. We have a segment game called The Face Off, which is a versus inspired game. And we have roundtable discussion about variety of music topics. And y'all can check out A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Now, the Old School Show that featured myself and the star Roddy Rod is a show where we discuss anything old school, from music, TV shows, movies, and many more. We also bring in guests to join in on the old school conversation. Y'all can check out the old school show with myself and the Star Righty Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. Every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And last but not least, we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B, where we talk about anything relationship related topics like love, dating, relationships, cheating, the good and the bad, and many more. And y'all can check out this spin-off series, Date Night Talk Podcast, every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. So look out for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Presents Spin-off Series Thursday, a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Righty Rod every fourth Thursdays, and Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays. And y'all can check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. And thank y'all for checking out this commercial break. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. True! I just want to take the time and thank everybody for tuning into this new episode of the Gentleman Like That podcast. Just thank you for tuning in, y'all. It means a lot. Y'all don't know how much y'all support means to me. And once again, thank you for tuning in, to the first episode of 2022. So y'all already know where I'm at every Sunday with the Gentleman Like That podcast. We're on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and many more. We are not on Spotify at the moment, but once we're back on the platform, I will keep y'all posted. Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast presents the Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Ride. Season 2, January 30th, and every fourth or fifth Sunday after that. So new season start January 30th, and every fourth or fifth Sunday after that. Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast presents a conversation about music podcast. New episode. We return with a new episode February 6th and every first Sunday after that. So February 6th, a new episode of a conversation about music podcast every first Sunday after that. And also don't forget January 20th, with the Gentleman Like That podcast 30-year anniversary episode. January 30th. So tune into the episode. Yeah. If y'all want to check me out on the Premier podcast with my bros, Mr. Aaron Sands, Star Rider Rod, and Lola the Chief Mally Mal. Check out the Premier podcast every Wednesday at 12 a.m. And check out my bro show, King Talk with Aaron Sands. I'm the executive producer of that show. Check out his show every other Friday at 12 a.m. So yeah, if y'all want to be a guest on my show, y'all could email me about yourself and everything that you do to my email, ken@ypgent@gmail.com, or y'all could DM me on IG, Ken_Mr. Gentleman, and we can set something up from there. So yeah, also the website, Mr. Gentleman Like The podcast, is under construction at the moment, but we'll be up and running in 2022. Add me on Good Pod, y'all. It's a media platform where they cater to many independent podcasters. You'll see what everybody listens to. It's easy to use. You can rate. It's another way to rate on shows. Yeah, I think everybody should join Good Pods and add me on Good Pod, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. And yeah, so show support there. And I just want to say thank y'all for tuning into this new episode of Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode.
everyone. My name is Rolanda Pyle, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman's Lifestyle Podcast.